Hello, and welcome to another edition of AppSec Decoded. I'm Taylor Armerding, security advocate with the Synopsys Software Integrity Group, coming to you from the 2023 RSA conference in San Francisco. And today we're going to be talking about, what else? Decoding AppSec. And with me to help with that is Clint Gibler, holder of a PhD in computer science from UC Davis and head of security research at Semgrep, a San Francisco-based company. He is also author of, and I've checked this one out, it's good, the newsletter TLDR, too long didn't read, Sec, about security, which contains summaries of artisanally curated top talks plus useful security links and resources from around the web. Welcome, Clint. Thanks for being here. Okay, and
Thanks for having me.
Let's start out with a bit of historical perspective, okay? How have AppSec and AppSec teams changed over the past decade, do you think?
That's a good question. So I think if we go back 10, 15 years, there was a big focus on how do we find as many vulnerabilities as possible. The security teams were focused on breaking and finding all the issues and then sort of throwing them over the wall to engineers to fix. And what we're seeing now is that security teams have a more engineering-centric mindset. Many of them don't just use tools, they're also comfortable writing their own tools, writing software, and ultimately having a more, I think, customer-centric mindset about, developers are our customers.
Yeah, I was going to say the developers are the customers too, right? Yes.
Okay. Yeah, similar to how every company writing software, has users of their product. Similar, some security teams are becoming a customer-centric team, just their customers are internal. So how do we build tools and libraries and generally make it easier for developers to do their work better, faster, and securely?
Yes, absolutely.
And I think we're also learning about having a product-minded approach.
Okay.
So I think historically, many security tools have gotten away with being a bit brittle, not working in a lot of cases, maybe having a very clunky UI and not designed to be maximally usable. But again, having a customer-centric mindset and applying some product thinking to think about, okay, how do we put security tools within the developer workflow? So rather than making them go to a separate dashboard, can we write a PR comment? Can we have an IDE extension that gives them security feedback within their existing workflow? So really thinking, how do we not just provide security benefits and make things secure, but also how do we just ultimately make our customers, that is developers' lives better?
Right. Okay, thanks. That's great, and that's a great segue into our next question, which is presuming we'd all like to continue to change for the better. What are some of the key tips and takeaways from modern, forward-thinking security teams, would you say?
Yeah, a couple of things that come to mind is, again, what I was just mentioning in terms of how do we make things easier for developers?
Yes.
Can we, when we are wanting to insert either some security controls or security checks, how do we make it as seamless to how development already happens? Ideally, for example, if we are doing code scanning of a pull request, for example, can we do that in a similar amount of time to the existing linting and integration checks? So again, we are providing security value, but not slowing things down. Another thing is, again, leaning into, rather than just finding vulnerabilities, but also trying to sort of similarly be engineering peers and building things for engineers. So one idea that's become very popular in the past few years is this idea of secure defaults or secure guardrails, or as Netflix calls it, building a paved road.
Yes.
So the idea is, can we make either tools or libraries or processes that developers can use, and they basically provide security benefits totally transparently into developers. So it's maybe a parsing library that if you use that, you don't have to worry about certain types of, say, for XML parsing, for example, like XXE attacks or denial of service or things like that. Again, enabling developers to write code quickly, deliver value to customers, which again is the point of a company, right? The point of a company is not to be secure, it's to build a product that provides users value. So again, by building or maintaining libraries that enable developers to do that easily is excellent. So I think ultimately, the more we can make security transparent for developers, so they don't even need to think about it,
Right.
the better.
I heard one expert that I've enjoyed listening to. He was sort of talking about helping developers so that the only way to do it is the secure way. And the way he illustrated that was, if your kids want to make popcorn, you don't let them build a fire in the living room. You make them use the stove. So the only way to do it is the safe way. Does that kind of align?
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, same idea.
Yeah.
And I think that's definitely right. And I think there's some nuance there where it's not just provide a safe way, but it's ideally also making it the easiest way.
Yes. Yeah.
Right. So if they need to, unlock a safe and do like these 50 things to then use the stove, they're not going to do it when, let's say, you already have all the branches together and gasoline in the middle of your living room. It's like, oh, I just have to like flick this match and boom, I'm ready.
Yeah.
So I think providing the easy way, or providing the secure way, but also making it easy.
The easy way.
And this is it's easy to say, very difficult to do.
Yeah.
But if you can make the secure way even easier than the insecure way, like who would not do that?
Exactly.
And I think there's even an extension to that. So it's like you make it easier. And then also what I hear a number of companies talk about is, can we not build something that doesn't just provide security value, but also provides other value to developers that makes them intrinsically want to use it. And, oh, by the way, it happens to be secure. So, for example, you could provide a library that does some sort of thing securely, but also has extra telemetry or logging or metrics, or maybe it's even faster than the original way. So there's basically, there's things that most developers care about, and can we make whatever is secure also fulfill those things? So they're intrinsically like, oh, like this library is even easier to use. It's faster. Like I would have to write all this logging myself, but now I don't have to. So they're getting all these things that make them, oh, I would use this for its own merits. And then, just like, oh, by the way, it's also more secure.
Package. Yeah.
Yeah. So I've seen a lot of companies get significant value from that approach.
That's great. Okay. Thanks to Clint for being with us. This is AppSec Decoded. Thank you, our audience, for joining. Once again, I'm Taylor Armerding with the Synopsys Software Integrity Group. We help organizations build trust into their software.